Welcome back, everyone. That's some new intro, Sarah. That's really good, isn't it? I like that.
I know, that was proper snazzy, wasn't it?
I mean, the only problem is when it finishes, all you got to do is look at a lemon like me. So it's a bit of a letdown, isn't it, really? I've got to come up with a really crappy intro so that, you know, when it comes live, oh, that's not too bad, but I think that's a bit too good for my show. How you doing, darling? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Well, as I was saying just before the show, a bit stressed today. The phone has been absolutely off the scale. In fact, so much I've had to turn both of them off. It's just been driving me mad, but that's life in the public eye, I guess. I know you're experiencing the same, aren't you?
I am. I mean, obviously not to the same degree as you, but oh my God, my feet have not touched the ground. My phone is like this constantly, Instagram, everything. And I get asked the most random things and it's just non-stop. And I don't know how you keep up with it. I really don't.
Well, I tell you what, this is the bad news, right? This is when it gets really bad. You go to sleep, you go to bed, and when you wake up in the morning, your phone is still in your hand and you've been asleep with it in your hand all night. Then you know. But no, seriously, no, it's all part of the job. Good evening, everyone. Lovely to see everyone piling in already. Almost 1,000 people. We've not even kicked a ball yet. Sarah, your channel is now up and running without any content yet, but here's the deal. Tonight, I want to get Sarah to the magical 1,000 subscribers before she even makes a video, because once she gets to 1,000 subscribers, she can actually get a little bit of payment for what she's doing, which is always handy because no one's ever going to employ you now, Sarah.
No one's going to employ me. And also, like, when people are saying now that there's rumors going around that I'm being paid, and by who? Because please, I'll give my address. I've been doxed already. I'm happy if the checks have got lost in the post, please send them my way. But I went to GB News the other night and I was on late. So it was 10:20. Well, if you think I'm getting a cab there, the cab there was £36. The cab back was 57. That's out of my pocket. And I'm doing these things to try and spread the word and get the calls, like do good for the calls. I ain't getting paid by no one. So it would be quite nice to actually have my channel up and running and get something back, even if it's just to pay for my cabs.
Yeah, I get it. Look, Sarah, someone's asking me if my main mic is on. Does my audio sound right to you?
Sounds all right to me. Sounds like your normal self.
Good. Yeah, look, listen, get used to it, because who's paying you? Israel, or is it Urban Scoop, or is it?
Apparently, Israel are paying me.
Oh,
but
right, okay, yeah.
I mean,
look,
if
listen,
it's good for you. I should post more.
Yeah, it's good for your street cred. Just tell them it's Mossad.
Yeah, I will.
Or MI5, something like that. Anything that works for you, you know. But anyway, we've got a few bits to talk about tonight. Richard's going to be coming on later. Richard's a man in demand these days. He's on another podcast somewhere. He's blown his best mate out for the first half an hour, so we'll have to wait a little bit for Richard to come on, but I'm sure that we'll manage. Now, last night, I invited on viewers to the show, and I've got to tell you, Sarah, I really enjoyed it, but one viewer in particular actually played on my mind, and I won't say I had trouble sleeping, but it was on my mind when I went to bed, and it was on my mind when I woke up, and it was the young man that had been abused, and it was a really terrible story to listen to, and I'm so pleased that he came on. and told his story. Very, very powerful. And I'm gonna be doing a lot of that in the future. I think. I think giving people the chance to come on and have their say is really important, and it's a good outlet for them.
Mm. Yeah, definitely. It gives people, they feel like then they've got their voice, and it's a platform for them to talk and share their stories as well, which is really important, because you don't just want to have us on there and it's just contained to what we've got to talk about. We do
Yeah.
want to know what everyone in the public, in the real life, what they're going through as well. It's great. It's great. It is a great thing that you've done there. 100%.
He's in the chat. Peacekeeper. Hi, Paul. That's me. I'm Linford. Yeah, I remembered your name, mate. I just wasn't sure if you wanted me to read it out again. But plenty of support in the chat for you as well. So it was good to have you on last night, mate. I hope you will come on. I hope you'll come on again. Sarah, first of all, we get to the main topic, which is our wonderful mayor, Sadiq Khan. We'll get on to him a little bit later on, but first of all, I want to talk about what's going on down in Southampton. Have you been catching up with any of that at all? Have you seen it?
To be honest, I haven't kept up to date with it. I've heard snippets of what's going on. I mean, it's awful the way that they've behaved down there. And I know that there's a big protest now being arranged, and they're calling for everyone to get down there. I'm hoping to go along, to be honest. I see some of the scenes, and I mean, it just shows the two-tier policing, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does indeed. It does indeed. I mean, look, Sarah, I mean, this is one of the problems, by the way, that the more you get into this, the harder you will find to keep up with everything. Have a look, it's better late than never.
Hey.
Straight off another podcast.
Because he's getting paid from two different sources.
If only I was getting paid for any of this, Sarah, for goodness sake. All this does is empty my bank account and give me heartache. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
How you doing, brother?
You'll learn, Sarah. You'll learn. You'll be as jaded as me. And I'll give it 6 weeks. You'll be as jaded as me and Paul. Do you know what I mean?
I'm getting up. I know.
She said to me before we started tonight, Paul, you don't see myself tonight. I said, Sarah, I've had about 500 WhatsApp messages today. I've had enough. What have you been up to, Rich?
I've been on with David Vance, so I was just I think I probably just got him banned from every single channel he's on, so I was just on a rant about all this crazy stuff that's going on.
David is absolutely brilliant.
Oh, he's superb. He's superb.
I mean, he's just amazing.
He's brilliant. He really is, and he's got he's got some big following on Twitter.
Yeah, big fan of David's.
Yeah.
I was going to say Sarah meet Richard, but you've already met us. So
we've met.
Yeah, plenty of times.
Yeah.
Rich, I was just saying to Sarah, we'll get on to Sadiq Khan, our wonderful mayor, later on in the show. But I just wanted to, before we get into that, it's a couple of bits actually. First of all, what's going on down in Southampton? Now, I'll tell you what I think, after you two guys there. And Sarah's already sort of spoken about it a little bit. But I think something's going on down there. Have you been keeping up with it at all, Richard?
I've seen bits. I've seen, these very aggressive looking Pakistanis, I'm guessing.
They're claiming it's the Muslim Defence League.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure. I mean, it's like the EDL. I mean, I'm not sure whether any of these groups really exist or not. But look, the wrong uns. I mean, those people are really sticking on the protesters. And apparently, there was a big row at the hotel on Saturday night. There was a whole lot of aggro happened. I don't know the ins and outs of it, so I'm not going to comment on something I don't know about. But listen, here's the thing, Paul. This is going to happen more and more.
Yeah.
And it's a question of how we I was going to say manage it, that's probably the wrong word, how we navigate it, because it'd be very easy to go down a very, very dark route. Because listen, we dodged the bullet. See, last year, and I've said this, it was down to the likes of me, you, Tommy, other voices that people listen to, that last year didn't descend into something a lot worse than it could have been. We were calling for peace the whole time. Yeah. Tommy was calling for peace. Everybody was saying, because that's what they want. I think they want it. They want there to be mass violence. They want there to be, Pakistanis fighting English lads, because then they can really clamp down. They can cancel elections. They can take away our freedoms. That's what they want. So we've got to not give them what they want. And the only solution is political and spiritual. That's the only we can't go down the road of violence. We just can't do it.
And I can vouch for that. I mean, last year, I can say for 100% certain. I mean, Richard has more. Richard has a longer background in this than I, and he knows more people than I do. And I can tell you now, Richard calmed down a lot of people last year that maybe could have turned into trouble. That's the bottom line. Let's not sugarcoat it. They could have been a problem. And I know for a fact that Richard stopped them lads from causing problems or potentially getting involved in problems. We've always done that on this show. But at the end of the day,
I'm going to be honest with you, Paul. Like, we've always done it from the very beginning. And when, when there was the Football Lads Alliance and the DFLA, all of those lads that ran that group were always calming stuff down all the time.
Good lads.
Every time there was a demo and it kicked off, I'm not going to name them, but there was the same faces were putting themselves between the police, and I did it as well, putting themselves between the police and anyone that could, that could cause any aggro. And so that's always happened. Tommy's done it as well. When we've had far right people come to demos, we've physically put them out. The proper Nazis, we've put them out of demos. So we've done that for the last 8 years. Almost every single demo we've spent our time doing that. You know what I mean? So it's not just me. It's been loads of people's done that. Men and women. So it's not.
I've done the same at Epping. And protests that we've been to, because what I find is a woman getting in front of. I mean, it could backfire on me, but a woman getting in front of a load of guys and going, "Come on," and then turning around to the police and being very diplomatic to them and saying, "Look, you don't want the paperwork. Let's try and keep it peaceful. Let's, you sometimes need a voice of reason.
You've got to. You've got to, because at the end of the day, look, here's what happens if you don't calm it down. And I've been in situations where it hasn't got calmed down and people get the collars felt. And, they're going to do 4 years in prison for violent disorder. It's as simple as that. Look at Peter Lynch, 2 years in prison for violent disorder. He didn't even hit anyone.
I believe it's the anniversary of his passing.
Yeah, it was. It was. It was either today or over the weekend. And
that was terrible.
It was horrendous. And I mean, he should never have been in prison. And this is the other thing. He pleaded guilty. He shouldn't have pleaded guilty. But when you're under that pressure, and he never had dealings with the police and didn't know how to, deal with the police because there's, listen, but I mean, I was going through this with David Vance about the prevent strategy. And we'll do it on another video, Paul. But I did the prevent course last week. I went online, right, and I just did the prevent course anonymously, mate. I'll go through it with you. It'll blow your mind. Like I say, we'll not do it tonight. But basically, not to put too fine a point on it. See, us three here, we're all terrorists according to the prevent strategy. That's it. We're lost causes. You know what I mean? And then we wonder why we're getting tugged at the airports and it's just, mate, it's just.
Sarah, there's a lot of people asking your channel name. What is it?
Oh, it's Sarah White 85. Let me just double check that. Yeah. I think I've got 6 subscribers. Sarah White
85. Right, Sarah White 85. Let's try and get her up to 1,000 subscribers before the end of this show.
There's no content on it yet, so don't be disheartened.
No content yet. But look, we've already got 2,000 people watching. There is absolutely no reason why we can't get Sarah White 85 1,000 subs tonight, and let's do it. I'll get over there as soon as the show's
really
over.
do like me,
go on.
Subscribe. And there'll be lots of content in the years to come, and pretty soon as well. And we all see how I turned up to Whitechapel the other week, sprayed pink in just my underwear.
He deserves it.
Do some more content like that, then let's get it going.
Yeah, and if you don't, me and Rich are going to take our tops off.
No, Paul, I've seen you without your top on, mate. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that again, mate. We're not doing that.
You're only jealous, Rich. Come on. Do you know what?
I know it's that 6-pack, mate, that you got.
I bought a new T-shirt today, right? I put it on tonight, and it's a bit tight. And I looked in the label. I thought, have I bought the right size? And it's what they call muscle fit. The trouble is, I haven't got any muscles to fit in it. I need something that says flab fit.
It's relaxed muscle, Paul.
That's what it is. That's what it is, Sarah. Right, going back to Southampton. Look, this is my opinion. they're calling them out. You know, they've gone down there for no other reason. I mean, they're standing on one side of the road shouting about free Palestine. This is about the protest down there was mostly, from what I could see, women and children.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, a few men sprinkled in there. And they've gone down there to shout about Palestine, which has nothing to do with the actual protest in itself.
No.
So for me, that is a deliberate escalation of a situation. And the police, well, from what I saw, they was only interested in one group, and it wasn't the ones that were trying to instigate trouble.
No.
Now, Richard, going back to what we were saying a minute ago about me and you going on and on and on and on and on about, you know, don't get yourselves into trouble, don't break the law, be respectful, right? These people ain't going to listen to us, Richard, because they're sick of it.
I know, I get it, Paul, and I mean, I totally get it. And the thing is, my only point is, you got to pick your fights. Do you know what I mean? And look, if we end up in a conflict, you know, a real conflict, you don't want all your best lads in prison.
No,
that's my point.
Richard, the bottom line is this. The bottom line is this. This is now down to the police down in Southampton. That would be which police force? My mind's gone blank.
Sussex, is it? Sussex?
No, not Sussex.
Kent.
Anyway, mine's gone blank. But it's down to them to make sure to nip this in the bud. Now it's very obvious. It's very obvious that these lads have gone there for one reason and one reason only. They've gone down there for confrontation.
Yeah.
That has provoked. 100%. That has provoked a response. They will see that response, I guess, on Sunday, because now I believe there's an attempt to get a lot of people to go down there as in a show of peaceful strength.
Well, I think they should.
Let's hope it remains that way.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, this is down to the constabulary to sort this out, get those wrong ones out of it, stop them from trying to wind people up, and move them along. But
I'll be honest with you,
will.
I think there should be a show of strength down there. They should put thousands of people down there peacefully, and you see, the police have a doctrine, right? And it's just called numbers, and what it means is it's very simple. The people who can put the most bodies on the ground win. Simple as that. That's just the way it works, right? So if you get 10,000 people down to Southampton this weekend, that's it. And I think exactly the same in, and it's got to be peaceful. You can't. It's too. You don't want the thing to explode into violence, because if it does, it's absolute mayhem, right? So it's got to be peaceful. And I think exactly the same in Birmingham. I think there needs to be thousands of people go to Birmingham for a protest about anti-Semitism on the 6th of November. Get outside that stadium and protest about anti-Semitism peacefully. You know, have a prayer vigil, whatever, and just show that we're better than those scumbags that are wanting to fight and wanting to cause all sorts of aggro and hassle. You show up peacefully, and you do a peaceful demo. And I said this last year. I didn't tell people to stop demonstrating. I said, just make sure you do it peacefully. You know, and if someone attacks you, obviously you've got a right to defend yourself. But that's where the police need to come in.
Yeah.
So if the police think there's 10,000 people going to Southampton on Saturday or whenever it is, you can guarantee that they'll police that properly, because they'll have to. If they think there's 10,000 people going to Birmingham on the 6th, I think they might rethink what they've done. They might go away and actually have a serious think about it. So, you know, and that's not inciting violence. That's saying go and protest peacefully within the law, which you have a right to do. Now, the police may just ban all protests. Okay, that's all right. You do that. That's, you know, we can do protests other times. But I genuinely think, now's the time to stand up and put your boots on the ground and say, yeah, we're going to stand.
And here's the thing. Here's the thing, guys. Right? If the police get this wrong, this is going to escalate.
Yeah.
You better.
So this is down to no one else now, other than the Hampshire Constabulary.
Hampshire, yeah.
To make sure they get this right, and that they police without fear and without favour.
Yeah.
Without favour being the operative word, right? They've got to be seen to be doing their job, doing it properly, and doing it fairly. Because anything else, and this is only going to get worse. And that is just a simple fact. That's not being a doom monger,
No.
or a naysayer. That's just me saying what I believe will happen if they don't get this right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, I've already decided, Paul. If there's a demo, as long as it's peaceful and it's been organised properly, if there's a peaceful demo organised for Birmingham, I'll go, 100%.
Yeah.
I'll go.
And me.
Yeah, because to me, it is a hill to die on, because this is about our Jewish friends and neighbours being sectarianly discriminated against so that they can't go to a football match by Islamists. That's what's happened here. It's not just normal Muslims.
Terrorists.
It's Islamists who support Hamas, who want Israel destroyed, and they want every Jew out of the country. That's what these scumbags want. I don't care what they say. They're liars.
And if anyone doubts that, what Richard just said about they want every Jew out of the country, they don't even want them in Birmingham.
No.
Let alone the country. So there you go. There's your answer.
And just remember, there's only 300,000 Jews in the UK anyway. I think the population.
There's not very many,
Jewish people are peaceful. They've never incited violence in our country.
Yeah.
So, and they've been here. My nan, she's not Jewish, but she went to a Jewish school in the East End. There's always been Jewish people in this country. They've been born and bred here. Some like 5th, 6th generation. Well, I don't understand what the problem is. But Islamists, extremists, have come into this country and caused problem. And who on earth made that decision for the 6th of November? Who on earth done that? Because that is causing violence. That's inciting violence. That's causing a massive divide. If they hadn't have done that, we wouldn't be talking about it, and the game would have gone ahead. There might have been a little bit to do outside, but nothing like there's going to be now. And that, like you said earlier, they are trying to cause a divide. They want all hell to break loose, and they want this country to erupt.
Yeah.
I mean, look, everyone knows I'm a big football fan, and I've had loads of Villa fans contacting me. I've even had a couple out in Benidorm in the street stopping me and saying, we don't agree with this. A game without away fans is not the same, etc., and it's bad. So, look, I think Aston Villa, the supporters of Aston Villa, they're not to blame. I mean, I feel sorry for them because they're being put in a position of being the club that gave in to.
Do you know what would be really nice? If every Aston Villa supporter in that stadium gave their seat to one of the other supporters from the away team, and then it was in the home side, it would be all the away supporters, and that would show real solidarity. That would be something that would be amazing.
Yeah, that's absolutely right.
Knowing football fans, I can't see that happening, but it.
Well, I mean, it might do, Paul. It might do. Do you know what I mean?
But no, seriously though. I mean, it is absolutely vile. Sean, thank you, Sean. Paul, you heard about Barnsley Council today banning flags and poppies in Hoyland. Our parents, grandparents will be turning in their grave. Look, this is where we're going. What comes as a surprise today? In all honesty, is does anything that they hit us with come as a surprise? For me, no.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Nothing comes as a surprise. But I tell you now, if they want to put a straw that breaks the English or the British camel's back, they're going the right way about it. That's all I can say. They're going the right way about it. They won't listen until it's too late. Just like with Brexit, they wouldn't listen until it was too late, and then they wind, and they'll do the same all over again.
Well, I mean, I think, honestly, if it goes wrong in Southampton, right?
Of all places.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the catalyst.
I think if it goes wrong in Southampton, there's going to be a massive problem right the way through the whole country, and then you'd be rolling into Birmingham as well. And I think we do need to, like I say, I mean, I'm not involved in organising anything because obviously I'm sitting here in Northern Ireland. But the bottom line is, as far as I can see, the only solution to Birmingham is say, right, let's put 10,000 people on the streets of Birmingham peacefully in a demonstration against anti-Semitism, and take it to Villa Park. And to me, that's a solution. And then the ball's in the police's court. It's up to them what they do. They can ban it. They can ban any. They can do what they want. But it sticks it on them. It ups the ante. It ups the ante. And that's what I would be counselling that people do. That we go, okay, well let's get serious numbers up there. Let's just do it.
Definitely. The problem we've got is the police don't police us fairly. They they work in the favour of the left and the mob, and for us, we're the ones that gets our collars felt.
Yeah. Well, I think there's. I believe that their thinking is that if they upset the other side, that they represent a bigger danger right across the country. And let's be honest, they're probably right.
Yes and no. I mean, I think the problem you've got at the minute is you've got the left joining themselves at the hip with the Islamists, right? So you've got Islamists and the left. Now, what you've got there, because I know these people, right? I know who Ayub Khan is, right? I know who what's his name? The lawyer from Birmingham, Morris Andrews guy. I know who they are. Yeah. Ahmed Yaqub.
Yaqub, that's it.
And the reason I know about them is because of the films that we made in Telford. Because we were watching them. We had people inside his office, right? Doing surveillance inside Yaqub's office, right? So I know all about him. I know what he's about, right? I'm not going to say any more than that, right? But what I will say is, so what you've got here is something that's very sinister, because what you've got basically is a Pakistani mafia. That's what it is. It's a Pakistani Muslim mafia that's been operating up and down the country, from Oxford, Luton, Bradford, Keighley, Middlesbrough, Newcastle, Telford, Rochdale, Oldham. They're all connected. They all know each other, right? They're all involved in drug dealing, people trafficking, grooming, right? And it's endemic in that community, right? And you've got some very influential people in that community. I'm not going to name them because I'm not going to get myself sued. But there's some very influential people in that community who are heavily involved in all this. And now they've jumped on the pro-Pali bandwagon. Well, they've always been into it, but they're so they are radicalized as well. So you've got a mafia that's got a lot of influence politically and in the legal system, that is also now Islamist and has been radical. That is extremely dangerous.
We're moving into the Sadiq Khan area now, and we'll move into that slowly. But let's just have a quick recap of just some of the grooming issues that I wrote these down earlier. Rotherham in South Yorkshire, more than 1,400 victims between 1997 and 2013. I think these figures are a lot higher.
Yeah.
The 2014 J report revealed widespread sexual exploitation and systematic failures by police and the local councils. Convictions. Multiple grooming gang members have been jailed in several trials since 2015. Rochdale, Greater Manchester, at least a dozen victims, and the rest.
Yeah.
The 2012 Rochdale case was one of the first to bring national attention to grooming gangs. 9 convictions in 2012 and more have been convicted since. Greater Manchester Police later admitted failures in handling earlier reports. Oxfordshire, scale, at least 370 victims over 16 years, again, and the bloody rest. Operation Bullfinch exposed horrific abuse. Several men were jailed for life. Further trials followed, and reports showed victims were repeatedly ignored or disbelieved. Telford, Shropshire, an investigation estimated of up to 1,000 victims for over decades. A 2022 independent inquiry found horrifying failures by the authorities. Several men were jailed. Investigations are still ongoing. Newcastle upon Tyne, over 100 victims identified between 2014 and 2017, uncovered large-scale exploitations, more than 20 people jailed. Huddersfield, West Yorkshire, and the list goes on and on and on. Keighley, West Yorkshire, Sheffield, South Yorkshire, Halifax, West Yorkshire, Bristol. I say the list goes on and on and on. Leeds, Derby, Peterborough, Aylesbury, High Wycombe, Cardiff. Why should London be any different?
Yeah,
totally. It's everywhere.
It is. It's absolutely everywhere.
Absolutely. Why should London be any different?
Yeah, exactly.
And I wrote this earlier on. We'll just go through it very briefly. Sadiq Khan accused of ignoring grooming gang evidence. Sadiq Khan is facing accusations of covering up evidence of grooming gangs in London after an express investigation revealed he read official reports describing the gang rape of young girls in hotels whilst publicly denying such gangs existed. Victims were reportedly plied with drugs, threatened and abused. Whistleblower Maggie Oliver, big up Maggie Oliver, she's amazing. Compared the cases to the Rochdale scandal, accusing the mayor and the police of ignoring clear red flags. Shadow Home Secretary Chris Philp called Khan's denial shameful, whilst Reform MP Lee Anderson said the mayor had serious questions to answer. And I think he does. Are
we surprised though? This is the thing. Are we surprised that he's hidden anything? Because this is the thing, isn't it? We all knew that he was lying when Susan Hall constantly questioned him about it. Yeah. You could see he was sitting there and what do you mean by that question?
Yeah, I was going to say all he was interested in was that was all he was interested in.
Well, what he wanted her to say was Pakistani Muslim grooming gangs. That's what he wanted to say. Then he could come back and say, "Oh, you racist, bigoted woman," when it's just factual. And I think I don't know the demographics of London. Would there be a big Pakistani community in London? I don't know.
Yeah, huge.
Is there? Is there? Well, there you go. Then there's grooming going on. As simple as that. If there's a big Pakistani community, you can absolutely guarantee there's grooming. If they're from all the same place as all the rest of them, it's going on.
Yeah.
For anyone watching this, it says, "Oh, why don't you talk about the majority of offenders who are white?" Now, my answer to that is, well, we'll deal with our own Nazis and scumbags. We'll deal with them, right? I mean, as far as I'm concerned, they can hang them all up by the gonads from the nearest lamppost, right? But at the end of the day, the vast majority of them are individual predators who are sick, evil, ill, and hopefully they're caught and punished. But when you've got gangs working together, that's a different kettle of fish. Yeah. Now, I don't really give a shit what colour of Nazis. They can all go well.
They're all the same.
They're all the same, right?
Totally.
But what I can't stand is groups being ignored through political correctness or so-called community cohesion, whether they're white, black, brown, pink, or yellow.
Well, I think the thing is, Paul, here's the thing about it, right? There's probably 1 million girls been abused by these gangs, right? That's not an underestimation. It could be more. It could be more than that, right? Now, this is the problem with it. It is one specific demographic that's doing that, and that's doing it in that specific way, and it's basically family-based group sexual exploitation. So basically, what it is, these are groups of the tribe, right, from wherever they've come from, that for whatever reason, and I think it's religious and cultural, I think it's both, think it's okay to take vulnerable white girls and treat them like easy meat, like Peter McLaughlin called them in his book, and do whatever they want with them, right? And some of the stuff, when I interviewed all the girls in the first three films that we made in Telford, and those stories that they told were absolutely horrific. I mean, you're not talking about one assault, you're talking about hundreds, and you're talking about the most depraved, disgusting acts being carried out on those girls that were little more than children. Well, they were children. Most of them were like 12, 13, 14, 15.
Richard, do you know what? Oh, sorry to interrupt you there, but I was reading a story this morning about a girl who was 13. Right, that's the age of my oldest granddaughter. She's a fucking child.
Of course.
What the hell is wrong with these people?
Of course. Well, this is the whole point.
They're babies.
It's not even that. It's so insidious the way it's done. So, they get them, they show them a bit of affection, especially if these kids are from difficult backgrounds. And some of them weren't from difficult backgrounds. Some of them were from really good homes. There was one girl, and she wasn't groomed until she was 17, but she was a very innocent wee girl. And she come from a fairly decent family. Well, yeah, a decent family. And she had left home, and she was living in Telford. And what they did to that girl was absolutely abominable. I'm not going to tell you. But she ended up sitting outside a house of one of these people in Telford while we were making the films, on the phone to Tommy saying, "I'm going to kill this guy now, and then I'm going to kill myself." And I'm not sure if this ever went out in the films. I think it did, And Tommy was like, right, love, you come to us now. We'll come and pick you up. Don't do anything. Tommy taught that girl. This is the way he's demonized, right? Tommy taught that girl out of offing herself and killing somebody, right? 100%.
Whilst the police ignore him.
Eh?
Yeah.
Whilst the police ignore him.
After police ignore him, right? And then rescued her, and she was brought up to a house, and there was a woman in the house that looked after her, right? And I don't know what's happened to that woman. I remember her name. I'm not going to say her name, but this woman's life was absolutely, completely and utterly destroyed by what she'd experienced. And I know what she'd experienced. And the man that did it also killed a girl in Telford, right? He's still walking around Telford now, right? He's free. He got done for death by dangerous driving. Make of that what you will, right? So this is how sinister this is and how dark it is. Another girl, and this never went in the films, another girl told me, and I don't believe she was lying, but we didn't put it in the film because it just seemed too extreme and crazy for anyone to believe it. But I believe she was telling the truth. She was going to go to the police and report her abusers to the police. And this guy took her in a car to a cafe in Telford, took her into the back of the cafe, opened a chest freezer. There's a body of a little girl in the chest freezer. Teenage girl. And he said to her, if you go to the police, you'll end up in that chest freezer with her.
I've heard this story, yeah. I've heard this story.
And this is the worst thing. So it's not even heartbreaking. It's the worst of the worst what happens to these young girls and women. But then to have the courage to go and speak to the police, and then some of them, to then abuse them further and to discredit anything they're saying, and you like just brush it under the carpet. How can you do that as an officer? Every single one of these officers needs to be held accountable.
Sarah, can I tell you something? You know something, right? I've always said this. It's an interesting point you bring up here and a very good one. When I was a victim of violent robbery on 3 occasions, I always said to anyone that would ever listen or wanted to listen that actually it wasn't the bad guys that haunted me, it was the police. Because the bad guys do what the bad guys do. You can kind of get your head around the fact, and bad people are bad people, they do bad things. But when the very organisation, the very institution that is supposed to be there to protect the good people, and they fail and they let you down and they lie, that is what hurts the most. Now, these girls have gone through the most hideous, the most odious, the most horrible things that you can ever imagine. And then on top of all of that, they're told basically that they're not worthy of an investigation or you're a liar.
Yeah. And they're looked at as if they're
the problem. Yeah,
like
they're the problem.
So to come forward with that information, and we do know that some of the police officers then further went on to abuse some of these girls. So it's beyond me. They swore an oath to protect. What protection are they giving to these young girls? None at all. And then, like we see with Tommy, when they said, we want the PIN number for your phone. And then, he's not going to give it to them because give it to the very institution that lost information and evidence because they didn't want to take it any further, because they're protecting people of a certain culture and people in certain positions, because we know it was councillors, we know that MPs, mayors were involved.
Some of these people, some of these police officers, the only thing they're interested in protecting is their pensions. Not all of them, but some of them. Sarah, just before we go any further, I can't find your channel. Can you get your channel up for me? Because I want to put it on screen so that people can go over there and subscribe.
Does it matter how it's spelled?
Yeah. Can you show me it on your screen? Let's have a look.
Hang on.
Just Sarah White. Okay. At Sarah White 85. Let me just try that.
But then it's Sarah with a capital S, White with a capital W. Does that matter?
I don't know. Let's have a look.
Yeah, it probably does actually.
Oh well, I better. Should I change that?
No.
I've got a Sarah White 39 from the West Midlands. That's not you. Why can't I find you? Can you put it up on screen, Richard?
Yeah,
can you share it?
Yeah, just bear with me.
You've put a couple of images in the thing as well, yeah?
No, it's just that one image of me.
That's it.
No, I'm talking about Richard. Have you put a couple of things in the green room?
I've got a couple of things there, Paul. One,
Okay.
I'll probably not play it just now, but it's going back to Birmingham.
Okay.
The other one is just an image, but it doesn't really worry. It doesn't really matter about sharing that one. But the little video is basically one of the guys that's involved in what's happening in Birmingham right now, and this is what he said. So I don't know if do you want me to share that now?
Yeah, we'll have a look. We'll just get through a couple of supers. Random clips, thank you. Sadiq Khan was a lawyer for pro-Black Nation of Islam in America. That's Malcolm X left Nation of Islam after their leader, Elijah, got multiple girls pregnant. That's correct, I believe. Debbie, thank you. Evening, Paul and fellow patriots. Tony, hi, Paul, please give this to Richard. Richard, it's mounting up, mate.
Mate, listen, I need to get you my bank details. You know what I mean?
Because, you do.
I've got, that's going to pay for my Christmas.
Scott. He's become a friend of mine. Hi, Scott. His name's not Scott, but hi, Zionist Scott.
Zionist Scott, I would love to come on and share Scotland issues. Scott, next time we do a live, you come on, brother.
We're more than welcome to see you. We'll do that. That's a really good idea.
He's
can you drop a link to Sarah? We cannot find her. Right, Richard, how are we going to do this?
Right, what I'll do, Paul, I'm going to...
Should I change my name?
No,
I wouldn't leave it, Sarah, leave it, because what we'll do, I'll basically drop that in my videos, Paul, and then if you can grab the link from there, so I'll just edit the videos, and I'll just drop the link in there now.
Unless if you put the channel in the, if you share the channel on the, can you do that and I can get it up on screen?
Oh, it's not letting me, why is that not letting me share that?
How do I share?
Weird. So I'll try saving that.
How many subs you got at the moment, Sarah?
Hang on, I've got to try and find. I don't know, 6. See, no one can find me.
No, refresh it, close it down and reopen it.
Oh, 283.
Oh, there you go. See, look, it's working. Thank you, Rob.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers, Steve. Will do. We're going to get this up one way or another.
Yeah.
Now, 277 people have found me tonight. Then, from your subscribers. That's great.
Chris says that Sarah White 85. There you go, Sarah's YouTube.
Thanks, Chris. I will get some content on here soon. I do promise.
Let me see if I can get that up now. Hold on a minute.
Hold on. Oh, there we go.
I want to get Sarah to 1,000 subs tonight.
294.
Right, I've shared that. If you go onto Counter Media and go on the channel on Counter Media, I've shared it in the description.
So you just
better grab that.
Now I've got it. Now I've put you to all that work.
Yeah.
Now I've got it. Hold on a minute.
Well done. Thank you.
So
there we go. So there it is. Look. Can you see that?
Oh, look at that. Oi, oi.
Sarah White 85. Now I'm going to leave that up for a little while so you guys can get yourselves sorted and get yourselves subscribed. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that. Ivan Cowley says the government is pushing for sectarian conflict in the UK. Just my humble opinion.
I think that's right. I think that's absolutely right. I think that's exactly what they're doing.
Definitely.
Scary.
Now,
if
Paul,
you knew, you should get Roger and me on, Paul. Yeah, go on. Sorry, Richard. Thank you.
My new channel, right, has only got 6,000 subscribers. So, like, if Sarah gets more than 6,000 by the end of the week, I'll not be happy. My old channel's smashing it, but my old channel's demonetized because I was a bad boy. So, naughty. No, well, you'll find out, Sarah. You'll find out all about YouTube.
Oh, it's all good fun. Now, my screen now. Right, what is this that you've got here? You say you've got a film for us to watch, Rich?
Yeah. See the one, not the one with the imaging, the one next to it, the one that's the film. Just.
How deep does it? Is that one? How deep? Is that the one?
No, not that one. It's the one next to it. It's the actual video.
Let's get it up.
The other one's just an image.
Okay, let's get it up.
Not sure if you bet.
Grandfathers who bought you the lovely curry, which is your national
Pull that
dish.
back to the beginning.
So how can you tell us to go? We're not going.
Hold on, let's get it back.
Yeah, start from the beginning.
Here we go.
Grandfathers who bought you the lovely curry, which is your national dish. So how can you tell us to go? We're not going nowhere. We are here to stay. Like I say, we're not here to take part. We're here to take over.
I love that. city of Birmingham will not tolerate the disrespect of our Prophet, peace be upon him, and there will be outcomes from your actions. You will have repercussions for your actions. We have been trained from birth that we must defend the honor of our Prophet, and we will lay our life on the line.
Now that guy there is heavily involved, and the other guy that was in that video that was sitting grinning like a Cheshire cat, they're both heavily involved in what's happening in Birmingham. One of them is Ahmed Yaqub. I don't know what this other guy, that wee snaky looking guy that's on about Curry and all the rest of it. But those two guys are heavily involved in Birmingham. They're the ones that are pushing it in the back on street level. They're the ones that were outside Shabana Mahmood's office today protesting, waving Palestinian flags and intimidating people in her office. And that's what we're up against. So I just think, look, I don't want it to be violence, and I'm not going to incite any violence, but I think we need boots on the ground. I think we need people up there. We need people in Birmingham, and the lads in Birmingham need to get out on the streets as well. The patriots in Birmingham need to actually take a stand on this. Anyone in the West Midlands, anyone in the Midlands needs to be in Birmingham on the 6th of November.
See,
unless this is turned
Richard, look, I'm not going to disagree with that, but like, I'll go back to what I said earlier on in the show. This is down to the police.
Oh, totally.
They've got to start. They've got to start. When I say picking a side, I know they have to remain neutral, but you've got to start understanding.
Well, if they pick a side, you know what side they're going to pick, Paul. It won't be us.
Exactly.
Let's get it right. They're not going to
They
pick
won't
our
pick
side.
the side of the lawful and the good, will they?
No, they won't pick the side of the English. I was talking about this with David Vance. They won't pick the side of the English people. The white, and I'm not saying this in a racist way. White English people are hated by the establishment. The working class white English are despised by the white English middle class who run the country. That's a fact, and that's the problem that we got.
Yeah.
Very concerning. Very concerning. Sarah, can you just refresh and see how many subs you got? I'm not going to be happy. And we got 2,520 people watching tonight.
485.
Now, come on, we've got to get her up to 1,000 subs.
Paul, you've never done this for me.
Oh,
you've never done this for me, Paul.
Yeah, but Richard, it's not quite the same, is it?
Yeah, exactly, Paul. Exactly. I get it, mate. I get it.
I'm loyal to Paul, Richard.
And I'm not.
You're late.
You turned up late, mate. You don't care. It don't matter.
I want you to smash that like button on this video tonight, and I want you to please nip over to Sarah White subscribe, because if we can get her to 1,000 subs in one night, that would be some achievement.
How amazing! I'm on 500. Oh my god!
The links in my channels as well. I hate to say it, but the links in my channels as well.
Thanks,
and
Richard.
I'm going to leave that up there for a little while, so we can give people the chance to get over there. So yeah, basically, I'm a little bit worried about what's going on down in Southampton, but look, whatever will be, will be. Sarah, now you guys, the Pink Ladies, you've all kind of shot to fame, really, and you've become well known all over the country. The big question is, where do you go from here? Because it's a bit like a footballer hitting the scene. He comes on in his first game, scores a late winner, and then he's got to keep that. So where do you go from here?
Well, because this is the thing. So obviously we come together through protesting, and then obviously we protest every week still at Epping. But there's only really so much you can do outside of a hotel because we are peaceful. Yeah. And we've shot to fame in Epping, and and I've shot to fame by getting arrested, and it just was what happened, the process of leading up to that event. So that's why we decided now, myself and Ola have decided that we're taking the protests one place every month. So the first one's going to be the 22nd of November. So we're going to get a load of coaches together from all over and ferry women in all to Braintree. So that then what will happen...
Who's funding that, Sarah?
We've got some from Restore Britain, and there's some other people that have said they want to donate. So by them donating, we're not taking any money at all. But what we're saying is, right, if you want to donate, you can pay for a coach. Yeah. If you want to donate, then you can buy a gazebo. If you want to, so it's working like that. We're not accepting any money at all because we said we don't want to get into that realm of accepting money.
And the next thing you know, they'll be accusing you of having an holiday on it.
We don't want to do that. So what we've said is, you know, we want to get coaches laid on so that we can get a mass to turn up to Braintree because they're struggling to get numbers together there. And then what hopefully will happen is the women in that area will feel confident and comfortable to come out on that one day. And then hopefully when we leave at the end of that day, they will have exchanged numbers and then carry on that momentum, say once a month. So we've got Braintree on the 22nd of November. Then we're going to Liverpool. I've not got the date for certain. And then we're doing a nationwide protest on Valentine's Day next year. So we've had a Zoom call this evening, actually, with different women in different boroughs who want to set up their own Pink Lady movement in their area. So we're kind of giving them the blueprint of what they need to do. So if anyone obviously wants to get involved with that, find out locally, the local Facebook group for your Pink Ladies, and then they can join. And I think that's at the moment, so that's where we're at.
The plan is it's going to be a nationwide movement. Is that correct?
Yeah, we want it to be nationwide because at the end of the day, like you say, you come on your first match and then all of a sudden it dies down, where if we can grow momentum up and down the country and then say potentially go to Glasgow, maybe even go to Ireland, you know, and have it that once a month we go to one area. We all try to get to that one area to grow the momentum in that particular area. And everyone's got different problems. In Epping, we've got the problem of a hotel because it's close to schools. Some people have got HMOs. Some people haven't got any, but busloads of these undocumented men are being ferried into their areas to shop for the day or to spend the day at seaside resorts. You know, so we said it's not fair for us to tell you what to do in your area, but what we are there is a support network. And then what we're also doing is getting all the information of any sexual assaults, any stabbings, any burglaries. We want all of that information. And then at some point, we're going to go to Parliament with that information and go, there you go. Stop hiding what's really going on. And hopefully it will make a difference. But, you know, are we going to be listened to? Who knows? I do believe the good thing is when women come out, you know, there's a massive problem. So by women standing together, rising together, supporting one another, it encourages their husbands, their fathers, their sons all to come out as well, because ultimately you need to protect us. So that's what's happening. We're noticing more and more men are coming out of support of the women rather than going on, say, a predominantly male-led protest. They're coming to these ones because they're thinking, right, well, I'll go and support and protect. So I hope that does have some sort of change.
What about numbers, Sarah? What sort of numbers have you got at the moment? Do you have any idea about numbers?
What about people that have joined? Well, I can say if you take Romford alone, a woman come to our protest that we done opposite Downing Street. She left. She was from Romford and she went home and thought, hang on, there's not a group in my area. Within a week, she had 400 members.
Wow.
So that's pretty good. I can see that up and down the country.
Someone put in the comments that there's 1,000 in Northern Ireland. Apparently there's a group, Pink Ladies, 1,000 in Northern Ireland.
It would be good. I'd like to go to Northern Ireland. I'd like to get a big group of us to go and go over there. They're all coming together. We had a woman earlier, she's from Brighton, and she said, unfortunately, it's so woke down there. But you never know. You set a group up and all of a sudden they'll come from surrounding areas, because it's not about race, religion, colour. It's got nothing to do with that. It's about being protected and safe in your community. Women and children deserve the right. That is a fundamental right of this country, to feel safe and secure. And it's not just about women and children. It's everyone. It's our elderly. There's men that need protecting as well. But ultimately, the men in this country are being dumbed down because they're not allowed to stand up. They're not allowed to be proud. They're not allowed to speak out for women. And so now we're giving them that purpose. Come and support us. Come and be the man that you're supposed to be. Because we know that what they've done with society is push women up and men down. And that's not right. Men like to feel empowered and have a purpose to protect. Women are there supposed to. We both have our roles. And unfortunately, in the UK, our roles have completely done U-turns, and we need to get it back to what it should be. my grandparents, my parents, they all knew. I'm not saying women had a place and men had a place, but ultimately we play our roles.
We had our roles, yeah.
Yeah, we had our roles, and that's why society worked. And now I believe it's the government and the people in charge that they have caused all of this. And they do what, look,
Totally.
they don't care about us at all.
Totally right. Totally right.
Absolutely. And look,
And I mean,
guys,
to be honest with you, the men really do need to flipping grow a pair. To be honest with you, because
Yeah.
it's embarrassing that you've had, I mean, listen, we've been doing this for years, but like the amount of men that haven't got involved, and that's why I did. Oh, by the way, that song, Paul, it's launched on the 24th. What are we on the 20th today? So
fantastic.
that goes out on the 24th. I'll share the link. Do you know what we'll do on the 24th? We'll do a special to launch it, right?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
we'll just get, because I mean, where are the men of England? Really and truthfully, where are they?
Yeah.
It's absolutely embarrassing. And,
Do you know what is, sorry to interrupt you, Richard, but what's really, really nice is being a woman and the amount of men that are getting in touch with me now and going, you've encouraged me to get out. And if you can do it, then so can I. And I think that's really nice because they are seeing women out putting themselves on the front line now. And it is waking a lot of men up. And I think as long as I've done that, I've done something right. There are, and I'm constantly bombarded with men saying the same thing. So hopefully I can see a change in this country.
Sarah,
they need to get out.
The work that everyone is doing for me is amazing. I've said this for ages now, that every one of us has a role to play, and anyone out there that's watching this tonight, use Sarah as your inspiration. You can get involved, join the Pink Ladies. And this is why I've left her channel. I mean, let's get her up. I know I keep on. Sorry, you've already done it, but let's get her up to 1,000 subs tonight. Show us some love. Give us some support.
If
She
we have
deserves
to stay
it.
on for another 2 hours, guys, we will be doing that.
For goodness sake, just subscribe. Let's get this done in 20 minutes.
Well, just having a quick look. It looks to me at the moment
655. Come on.
Yeah, 656.
56 says nothing.
I'm over the moon.
So we're still a bit away, guys. Come on, don't let me down. Please go over there and subscribe. I'll put that back up on screen before we go tonight. Let me just remove it for the moment.
Actually, do you know what's going to happen? If you get to if we can get Sarah to 1,000 before 10:30, Paul's going to give the last person to sub £1,000.
You went silent there, Paul.
Yeah, he's speechless because I just mentioned money. Paul, you're muted, mate. You're muted.
I was going to say,
he got that excited about me giving £1,000 of his money away. He muted himself.
No, what I was going to say is, me and Rich would do a duo, a Cliff Richards. Congratulations! You can
We'll
do
sing. We'll sing "Where Are the Men of England."
You can do the first bit. Andrew, thank you so much, mate. Have a coffee on me, folks. Really appreciated. Sarah, if you was in charge of the country, what would you do for the people of? Well, let's start off with Essex. What would you do for the people of Essex?
What would I do for the people of Essex? Well, it wouldn't just be for the people of Essex.
Yeah.
This would be for the whole of the country.
Yeah.
I would go to every single hotel, Airbnb, anywhere there where these undocumented illegal immigrants are. They would have tags put on them. They would be taken to detention centres because they was quite good at building the Nightingale centres. We would have centres set up like that. They would not be allowed to roam within our society and our community, and then they would be processed and deported. It's not that difficult. We can do that. We've got to remember they've broken into the country. They are, or they have committed a crime. Anyone that says, oh, but they've committed a crime. That's it. I'm not allowed to break into anyone's house, and I'm allowed to roam the streets freely. So that is exactly what I would be doing. And then from that, anyone who's not patriotic, I think they can go as well. I would want flags put up on every street corner.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be a beautiful thing? Wouldn't that be a beautiful thing? Richard, what about you in Northern Ireland? What would you do?
Well, I mean, again, it would be nationwide because Northern Ireland is just as British as Epping is. I would ban halal food straight away, ban halal slaughter gone, done.
That's a
Ban the
great
burqa.
shout.
I mean, I never agreed with banning the burqa, but I think now, I think we're in such an emergency situation. I'd ban the burqa. I'd ban polygamy. If anyone was caught in a polygamous marriage, we'd extradite or throw the women out that have been involved in the polygamous marriage, and basically imprison the men that are involved in polygamous marriages, and then throw them out the country. We'd arrest any hate preachers in the mosques. Get rid of them. They're gone as well. Any migrants that's come in that are supporting foreign terrorist organisations by going on these hate marches, they're gone as well. It would just be absolutely full on coming down against the radicals, and we would protect as much as we possibly could innocent Muslim women, innocent Muslims that don't want to be involved in any of the radical crazy stuff. So apostates, people that leave the faith, people that don't have the extreme faith, they would be protected by law, and we would just smash radicalism in the country. Absolutely smash it.
And what would you do on day 2?
Day 2, then we'd get rid of net zero.
Oh, please.
Oh, dear.
Day 3, well, actually, day 1 would be we'd have to completely sack all the civil servants, all of them gone. All of the top tier civil servants would have to go unless they swore allegiance, a new oath of allegiance that would mean they would have to be completely loyal to Britain and the British people. I would be radical, mate. I mean, I'm telling you. The other thing I'd do, I'd also raise a home guard. So you'd have basically like what used to be like the UDR in Northern Ireland, where you had an army regiment that was locally, raised up of ex army guys, ex police officers, guys with SAI badges that are that are properly vetted, and you would actually have a force that if these jihadists rise up in the country, these 40,000 jihadists, you've actually got a military force that can face them down and take them on.
Do you know what else?
That's how serious all this is. I mean, it's like, I'm not joking about any of that. That's deadly serious. That's what needs to be done.
But we need to bring back into our schools the Lord's Prayer, hymns, the Harvest Festival. We need to be teaching our children about the history of this country.
Yeah.
Your children learned about medieval Baghdad. I don't want them to learn about medieval Baghdad. I want them to learn about Winston Churchill and Battle of Hastings and
medieval
February
Baghdad.
8th. Yeah,
Man.
sorry, medieval Baghdad. No, thank you. Maybe teach them about what happened in Iran in the 1970s, so they have a good idea of what happened there. And
I tell you what would be good to teach them the proper history of Islam, and what in India alone. In India alone, they killed 80 million people, the Muslims, in the space of 1,000 years. 80 million. Just think about that. That's population of the UK. More gone.
Wow.
I mean, and people just do not understand what we're up against. And
well, there is one political. Sorry, Sarah. There's one political party that will do all of the above, and they are running across the bottom of the screen here. That is Advance UK. Richard's a member. Sarah's a member. I'm a member. Jimmy says, just on Sly News, Maccabi Tel Aviv fans will not be allowed to buy tickets for the game in November. So the Islamists have won.
Well, not necessarily, because
on that point,
I think you've got to have a protest there. I think it's as simple as that. There's got to be a protest there.
And it's down to Aston Villa fans as well. Will put their foot down on this.
Oh, absolutely. They need to get a grip. They absolutely need to get a grip and grow a pair. I mean, just if you're in Northern Ireland, Advance UK is going to be organising in Northern Ireland very, very soon. So if you're in Northern Ireland, join. I've spoken to Ben personally about this. He said, yes, get people to join. So anybody in Northern Ireland, please join Advance UK, because it's going to be a nationwide. It's going to be the only party that is genuinely represented right the way through the whole of the United Kingdom. So, and, I think we can all say, every single one of us on this panel tonight can say that Ben is the only political leader that I trust completely.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely.
And obviously, we all know that I joined Advance, or some people know I joined Advance recently. And after I was a Reform candidate, a potential councillor for my local area, but after I've met Nigel and I've met Ben, and Ben is so sincere and so patriotic, and he cares immensely about this country. And when he's talking from the heart. And that's what I love about him, that he really does care about this country and getting it back to being Great Britain again.
Yeah, I mean, if it's possible, he cares too much. He worries me at
Yeah.
times. He's a hell of a lot to take on. Hell of a lot.
Well, I mean, he's the man of the hour, and we need more like Ben. I mean, this is the issue. What we need is we need 10 Tommies, 10 Bens, 10 Pauls, 10 Sarahs. You know, we need to multiply all the talented people that we've got that are basically taking a stand and putting themselves in the front line. We need to 10x it. We need because like any of us could get taken out, either literally taken out or arrested or whatever, you know, anytime. And I think I think people have got to realise that now we're actually sitting on a we're actually standing on a precipice.
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
See what happened in Southampton. I think that is the first time since Tommy did the Oldham, I think it was Oldham, the Oldham demonstration when the Muslims attacked the demonstration violently in 2018 or 2019. And that's the first time that's happened where they've come face to face in that way outside of London. So I think there's a big, massive. I mean, I don't know if you saw that video I made about how a civil war could happen in the UK. Paul.
I did, Richard. Yeah, I did. Yeah.
And it's like playing out in front of us.
Yeah.
It's just playing out in front of us now.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, it's a very, very concerning development for me, and it's a lot bigger, and I think maybe a lot of people are understanding.
I agree, Paul. I think it's massive. When I saw that, I was like, man,
wow.
Wow. And women in that crowd. There's women at the front of that crowd, and there was one. I'm guessing he was a Muslim guy with a blue shell suit on. Obviously, looked like he'd been some form of inbreeding had led to him, you know, popping out the womb. But you know, and he was just vile. He was just a vile, disgusting slob of a man, you know, and just giving British people verbal for walking through their own town. It just absolutely boiled me up, like absolutely boiled me up. And,
they've got no respect. They've got no respect for women, no respect for the British people, no respect for this country. They've come from countries that they obviously don't want to be in. Don't be here. Why you come here? Like, this is a Christian country.
Yeah, this is the whole thing. I mean, like, if people come here and they want to be here, and I was saying this on David Vance's channel, you know, when I was in the army, one of my best mates was a Somali lad. He was a Muslim. He was a brilliant soldier. Came out on the beer with us and all, you know. He was, you know, I'm not saying his name because I don't want to. I know he's in the police now, so I don't want to get him into bother, you know, that he was associated with me. But he was a great lad, and he came to my wedding and everything, and just there was loads of lads like that in the military, you know, that were, you know, West Indies, you know, and just really, really good people. But there's just something about these people that are more fanatical about Palestine than they are about the UK. I just don't want them here. I want them gone.
Do you know what? When I went to Whitechapel the other week, and obviously that was quite a statement, and I wouldn't, if we'd been anywhere else, I wouldn't have done what I'd done, like being just in my underwear, sprayed bright pink, you know, but it was because of where we were. I had to make that stand, and it had to be a massive speaking point. But I was talking to some young guys who were from that area, young Muslim guys. There was 4 of them, and I went over to them purposely because I wanted to talk to them because they was from that area. And they was like, "What's going on? We don't really understand. There's a lot of women in pink. You're dressed how you are, and then there's there's like this lot over there shouting that you're a Nazi." And I was like, yeah, well, I'm clearly not a Nazi, am I? They're the people that are calling for Jews to be killed in the street, and I'm being called a Nazi. But they was okay, and that's the thing. These were young Muslim guys who didn't have a problem. But it's the mainstream media, the woke left virus that is going on, and then they get. It seems to be more in places like Birmingham and Southport and all of them, and Southampton. You know, it's them areas that they seem more radicalized than I'd say. I mean, Whitechapel, we know, Paul, that they have it's like 90%. I think it's about 90% the Muslim population in Whitechapel. It's pretty high, but they're not as bad as they are in Birmingham. There's what is going on in Birmingham that's so that there's.
Well, in my opinion, a couple of words. One of them is drugs. But, you know, let me just dive back into the chat for a moment. Thank you, Debbie. Great chat as usual. Fie Pants. It is at Sarah White. Yeah, we've got that now. Best Black, thank you for Richard's Burger when he takes a break.
Thanks, Bess.
Bess again, yeah, thank you
Paul,
very
you're
much.
going to owe me so much money, Paul.
I know, mate. Do you know what? It's got to be about £4.50, Richard. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Look, it's getting worse. Look. Rob Quince, thank you. Paul, give this to Sarah,
Thanks,
please.
Rob.
Sheila Miller, will Sarah be able to go live on her channel next time, Paul? Well, she can when she gets to a
Get
certain
1,000
figure.
subs.
Yeah, that's
subs,
why.
I think.
So listen, come on, where are you? Where are you at? Let's have a little look.
778.
782.
783.
783.
783. Come on, we're still 250 virtually short.
Yeah.
Well, maths is
Less
shit,
than 250.
Less than two. Come on. There's 2,534 people watching.
217, is it?
Hold on a minute. It's getting worse. Look, Sean, please send this to Sarah. She needs taxi money.
Thanks.
Look, £2 for Sarah. Come on. Paul, please give this to Sarah. Keep up the great work. You're a very brave lady. Much love and respect to you. Right, Sarah.
Do you know what's happening there, Paul? It's because you're putting the comments above my. Get that off the screen. Get my face on the thing. I want to get some money off. I'm going to get some love off these people.
That's why you're bottom of the screen, Rich.
Oh, I know, Paul.
There
we go.
Doing. There we go. I'll tell you what. Rich,
thanks, Ivan. Well, I'll take that one.
How about that? Look.
There we go.
Look at that. Look. Put you at the top.
Right, I was going to say, get that one off the channel. Get that one off the channel.
Laurie, thank you, Laurie. Remembrance Sunday is approaching. Need everyone to make the effort and make it the biggest attended ever. Well done,
Absolutely,
Sarah.
absolutely.
Thanks,
we all need.
And
do you know what,
Claire
Paul?
Bear.
That's a really important point. Everybody needs to go
big year this year.
To the Remembrance Days. In the local areas, if you can get to London, get to the London one, but definitely go to your local areas because it's really important. And it's like, in Northern Ireland, they're always massively well attended, but all over the country, you need to be going to your Remembrance Sundays.
Yeah. Claire Bear, thank you very much, Claire. She has put the link in there.
Thank you, Claire.
Dark Side of the Moon, seen a video of a march today. A few Muslim young men shouting abuse at the Patriots, trouble ahead. Yeah, that was down in Southampton. That was what I was talking about. Thank you so much, Tanya. And Tanya, again, this is nothing to do with football. It's territory control. Absolutely.
Of course
absolutely.
It's worse than that. It's sectarian hatred against Jewish people, and it just can't be allowed to happen.
Yeah.
It's worse.
I don't know what the issue is with the Jewish population, with Jewish people, because what happened
I know the answer.
The 7th, was an atrocity. It was they went in, they murdered, they raped, they tortured, they beheaded, they done the most unthinkable things, and then kept them as hostages for an excessive amount of time, and still abused them as well. And then humiliated them in the worst ways. And then what they got in retaliation, now people want to be in like uproar about. How can you be in uproar? That was retaliation. Obviously, innocent people died. However, they died in, say, a bomb attack. You can't expect to do something like that and not expect retaliation.
It's crazy. I mean, it's the biggest conflict in history to do what they did and then convince the world that they are the victims. But I'll tell you why a lot of people dislike the Jews, right? And it's actually very simple from one side, at least. From the white English homebred lefties, they hate the Jews because they have this misconception that every Jew is rich.
Yeah.
They hate anyone with money. And if you've got a pound note more than they have, you need to be taxed to death.
Yeah.
And that is their view, because at the end of the day, they believe that they get confused. They confuse their lack of money with yours.
Yeah.
Right. And that's their problem with Jewish people, in my opinion. I'm talking about the white lefties now. I mean, obviously, other people have different issues. What was you going to say on that, Richard?
Well, it's very simple. I mean, there's a book there by a friend of mine. He died two weeks ago, Sam Solomon. If you want to get that, I can let people know where they can get that book. And it's in Islam. It's just the doctrines of Islam from Muhammad onwards. Muhammad was an anti-Semite. Muhammad murdered 600 Jewish men at the Battle of the Trench. They'd surrendered. In fact, they weren't even at war with him. He just did it because he believed they betrayed him. So Muhammad had a hatred of Jewish people when he was in Medina, because he felt they were ignoring him and marginalizing him, and he started the eternal enmity against the Jews. And you go through the Quran, and you'll see some things that seem quite complimentary about the Jews, but when you get into the later verses, which obviously, as we all know, abrogate the earlier verses, it's just the Jews are pigs and swine, according to pigs and monkeys, I think it is, according to Muhammad. So it's ingrained in Islam. Anti-Semitism is deeply ingrained in Islam, as is anti-Christian rhetoric as well. And people just don't realize what we've got. We have a monster in our midst. If people live by the Quran and by the Hadith and by traditional conservative Islamic practice, we've got a massive, massive problem.
And people have got to stop being afraid to talk about this, haven't they?
No, absolutely, Paul. I mean,
they've got to stop being afraid to talk about it, because if we don't talk about it, it's just going to get worse and worse.
And the problem is, most people don't understand religion. So if you don't understand religion, you're not going to understand what the problem is with Islam. Islam is not Methodism with turbans and beards. It's it really isn't.
But do you know what baffles me is you've got people who they follow their religion. So Muslims and Islamists, they're following that religion. But the people who say the white middle class woke who support them, why are they supporting them? But they're not talking about the Christians that are being murdered on a daily basis and the genocide that's going on in Nigeria. Why are they not talking about that? Because you can't pick and choose. You can't say, well, we're going to support what's going on there, but not this. You either I'm fighting for women and children to
you either care or you don't, right?
You can't just go, well, no, we're doing that, but we're not doing this. It's unacceptable.
The problem is that the left is almost a religious cult itself. It's basically Marxism. I heard this the other day. It was somebody was doing a podcast. Can't remember who it was, but he said the Marxists had a creed, and obviously in Islam, it's what is it? Muhammad is the prophet, and all that sort of carry on. Oh, there's only one God, and Muhammad is a prophet. That's the Islamic creed, right? And in Marxism, their creed was there is no God, and Karl Marx is his prophet. And that's what they used to say in the Marxist meetings. And communism, and all these people, these nice, lovely, cuddly lefties, they're communists. Communism is responsible for more death and destruction than any religion in history. Any religion. At least 150 million people have been murdered and killed and butchered in the name of Marxism in the last 150 years. So you've got two very, very evil ideologies. Islam on one side, communism on the other, and they're the ones that are in control of our country at the minute. The communists are in control with Starmer and the Labour Party. The Labour Party is a communist party. Socialism is communism. It's the same thing. They might have got elected without revolution, but they're still the same. They've captured the institutions. They run the civil service. They run the police. They run the education system. They run the BBC. They run Sky TV, and they've all got to go. Every single one of them has to go. They all have to be sacked. And if they've done anything criminal, they need to be put in prison. And that's what we're up against. We need a counter-revolution against these people.
And we need to have people in power that are patriots. You can't be having people that haven't got English as their first language to be councillors and mayors. It's unacceptable. Man. I think he's the mayor of Brighton. He can't even speak English. He has to have an interpreter. How is that possible? You should actually have to be born and bred here.
You couldn't make that up, could you?
Absolutely crazy. Guys, for the last part of the show, I'm going to invite one or two guests on. I'm going to put the link to the show in the chat. If someone wants to join us tonight, won't be too many. But before you do that, please don't forget to subscribe to Sarah's channel there. I want to get her to 1,000 subscribers before the end of this show. Ish says, Ish89, Richard has thought about that question before. Not quite sure which one he meant.
I thought about all the questions.
Richard never stops thinking.
No.
Debbie, how about Brits donating tickets to Israel fans? This is the thing. I don't think they're going to be allowed. They're just banned, full stop. And George is a new member. Thank you, George. We have a guest, and it is the wonderful George Williams. Let me just remove that for a moment. Evening, George. How you doing?
I'm okay, Paul. You okay, guys?
Very
Hi,
well,
Good to see you,
thank
man.
you. What's going on, George?
Well, mate, as you well know, I do the demo down in Clacton-on-Sea, and
do?
I'm pushing all the time, Paul. You know, and obviously we just started up the Clacton Pink Ladies. I'm trying to get Sarah on board with the girls down there. I think I've got Emma who runs that, who's going to try and reach out and connect with her. So hopefully they can join
Yeah,
together.
get us
Definitely.
connected. And I'll 100%. That'd be great if you can get us connected.
These women are getting a bit frightening.
Getting a bit.
They're getting a bit, you know what I mean?
What do you mean,
Oh.
getting a bit frightening? Women are always frightening, Paul. I'm terrified of women. They're flipping scare the life out of me.
That's true.
I don't know.
actually.
I think it's a good thing, Paul.
Oh, absolutely, George. Absolutely. Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I think they're putting us to shame at the moment, to be honest with you.
We're
Well,
my
my word every week when I'm down at the demo is where are our men that should be there every Friday at the town hall. So obviously, you know, I give that statement out every single Friday, but you know, things are dwindling at the moment, but we're not going to give up. Definitely not.
No, never give up. Never give up. Stay there, mate.
I would say one thing, Paul.
Yeah.
Auntie June sends her regards.
Yeah, I'll bet she does. Oh. Did you get that, Richard?
Sorry, what was that one? Sorry.
He said, Aunt June sends her regards. Oh, it's a little private joke there, guys. DJ Damaso, my town has the second highest immigration population in the northeast. We had a pensioner stabbed to death by an Afghan. It's very worrying, the state of this great nation. We must
That's
stand up and be counted.
Hartlepool.
Shocking.
That guy stabbed him because he was annoyed about what was happening in Gaza.
Yeah, I would say, Paul, in relation to sort of Clacton-on-Sea, obviously we're quite fortunate at the moment. We haven't got large issues in relation to the illegal immigration. We've got a lot of legal immigration going on. They've taken over a lot of the small businesses within the area. Clacton-on-Sea is nowhere as what it was like 5 years ago. It has dramatically changed demographically, as probably what most of the small towns up and down the UK have done. We are struggling to sort of get the optics on Clacton, even though we've got obviously the most prolific MP probably in the UK and probably sort of especially in relation to the US that's with us. Obviously Nigel, he's not been down to us at all down at Clacton.
No.
We've got we've had Tony Mack come down from Advanced UK, which has been absolutely brilliant, and obviously he's been integrating with the local people and putting the word out there for Advanced UK. Definitely.
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, no, definitely. Right,
Yeah.
Jules, thank you so much, mate. I'm going to let you go and bring on the next guest. All the best to you, mate, and good luck.
Well done, guys. Keep up the good work.
Right, George, take it easy,
Thanks
man.
very much.
Yeah, get her to message me.
Paul, just a
Next
quick
up-
one, mate. Before
Yes,
you do
mate.
that,
Yes.
the story about the Maccabee fans, it's the Maccabee club that have said they're not going to sell them any tickets. So that's it all over.
Right.
That's not, you know, there's no point in that. And that, I'm telling you now, that's a deal that's been done, I believe, between that club and the government, because that gets our
Well,
government
it
off the
might
hook.
be. It might be that they feel it's not safe for their fans to
Well,
travel.
I mean, that's what they're saying. That's what they're saying.
Yeah, and I would think that's very. I mean, look, Richard, I've been involved with football clubs in the past, you know that, and that is very likely a decision that their safety officer would take.
Yeah, but it's still a scandal.
Yeah,
Still
well,
an absolute
absolutely.
scandal.
It's shameful. Caroline, thank you so much. Paul, this one's for you. There you go. But Nicola says, get Sarah a bottle of wine. She's earned it. Thank you, Nicola. By the way, Sarah,
Nicola.
This is making me want to throw up.
if I buy them out here, you will get 10 bottles for that 20.
I just want to say a shout out to Sean because he's just messaged me on X. So thanks, Sean.
Let's bring in the beer hooligan. How you doing, mate?
Hello, Paul.
How you doing? You okay? Can you hear us?
Yeah, we can hear you, mate.
We can hear you, mate.
Hello, Paul.
Yep, I got you. You got your mute button on, I think. Let me just remove him for a moment while he hopefully gets that sorted out.
That's no messing about there, Paul. That's it, you know.
I'm a shock jock.
Gone.
I'm a shock jock tonight. My wonderful friend
James Whale lives on in Paul. He's channeling he's channeling his inner James Whale. You know?
James Snail. I need to get a pair of headphones and just have one ear like that. Talk over me, like a stubborn dog. Ian, thank you, Ian. Richard, when I meet you, I will take you for a drink. Better tell your missus you'll be late home.
Sounds like a plan, Ian. Sounds like a plan.
And trust me, if you meet my friend Ian in Newcastle, you are in for a shock.
Is this the same guy? Is this the same Ian?
Oh, mate, he's the top boy, mate. Don't worry about that. He's the king of Geordie land, mate. Thank you so much. Angie's a new member, and David Crosby. Tonight's lookalikes: Paul, Catweasel, bloody hell. Sarah, Lara,
I'll take that one, David.
Richard, middle-aged Harry Potter.
David, that's us. We're done. We're finished. It's all over, David. It's all over.
I'll tell you what, mate. I'm not too happy about the old
Get rid of them glasses. That's it.
Yeah, Lord. Let me try and let me see if I can.
I want to see a picture of Harry Potter here. I never watched Harry Potter.
You're a wizard, Harry.
I've never watched it myself.
No, me neither.
Sharon Ray, thank you, Sharon. Good evening. My nan was a British-born Jew in Bow. She served this country, sergeant in the ATS, World War II. God bless her. No more supers tonight, guys. Thank you very much. I think you sent Sarah and Richard enough to last.
Do you know the thing is, Sarah? He never pays it. He'll never pay you anyway. Don't worry about it.
I think
what we need to do is go out to Benidorm and he can take us out for the night.
Yeah, that's it. That'll
do. That'll do. Sort it out. Ivan Cowlin, thank you. How can we have MPs sworn in on the Quran? I agree.
Yeah,
Yvonne Flanagan, please, guys. Richard needs your help on Counter Media. There you go.
Media. Let's get that next time. We're getting Counter Media up to 10,000, Paul. Yeah. We're on 6,000 at the minute. I want to be 10,000 next time we do one of these lives.
Do you know what, Richard? I'll have to speak to you about that after this. Claire Bear, thank you so much, Claire. Come on, guys. I've lost a nail hitting the link for Sarah. She's lost a nail hitting the link for Sarah.
No,
Claire Bear. 1,000 person a kiss. There you go. Well, look, the bad news is, Sarah, is that as we speak, you are only on 898. Damn. I am very disappointed in my audience tonight. We have 2,396 wonderful patriots watching. What can I say? What can we say? What can we say? Well, it's been great having everyone on again tonight. Thank you so much for coming on. Let me just dive back into the regular chat.
I'm on 900. To be fair,
there you go.
I'm really pleased.
I'll take one of Paul's watches. Any advanced UK folks from the world? I think it's growing everywhere.
Yeah,
it's
growing everywhere.
It really is. The momentum they've got in such a short space of time has been unbelievable. And
it's incredible. Absolutely.
You know what it is? Because everyone who initially with reform, they was like, these are the answer. And what we've seen is Farage it's the fashion, isn't it? I'll say that this is what the public want, and then I'll retract and not do it. And he's just showing that he's more like Conservative 2.0 again, because when I went to their conference, the one thing I listened to, I was in there for 5 minutes, and he said, it's all right having grassroots, but now we want to get people in who have spent their lives in politics. Well, I'm sorry, that means Conservatives.
The ones that wrecked everything.
This country up over the last 14 years. So let's not forget who he's bringing in. It's not sincere. It's about lining their pockets. We want people that are grassroots. We want people that know how the country runs. We want people that know what the working man wants, what they talk about in their pubs, because they're the cogs of this country and they're the ones that keep it going. And if you don't keep them happy, the country's going to fail. And that's why it is failing now, because of the people that have been in control. So hopefully with all of us and people like us, like-minded, we will have a country that is once again Great Britain.
Yeah,
Do you know what I think we're going to get? I think we're going to get all the people that used to vote Labour years ago. You know, like the guys that worked down the pit, the guys that worked on the building sites. You know, that would have been Labour men right the way through to the core in the 70s and probably the 80s. They'll come to advance, because it's going to be a working class party, because Ben's not having this snooty attitude that if you've ever been in the EDL, or if you've been in this, or you've been in that, or you've been in Britain First, or any of the smaller parties, that you can't join. He's not going to do that. Ben's letting anybody join that wants to join, and I think that's exactly the right thing to do, because at the end of the day, if you join the party, it doesn't mean that you're going to be making policy or anything like that. It just means you're joining a party that you believe in, because you know that Ben's got the best interest of this country at heart, and every single one of the people of this country.
No, it really has.
What political leader? Every one of us on this panel could pick up the phone now and phone Ben, and he would probably answer. I don't know anyone looks like that. What?
He's taking me for dinner next week.
I heard.
Yeah.
He ain't bloody invited
took
me
me
for
for
dinner.
Did you see I slipped it in on GB News? I was like, right, how can I get Advance and Ben Habib's name mentioned on GB News? So obviously we was talking about my arrest, so it's quite hard sometimes to slip something in. So I'd done it, and I could see it was like, oh no, where's she going with this?
I know.
Dabney
was panicking, wasn't he? I
was going to say, if I'm honest,
horror on his face. It was Martin Dabney, wasn't it? Was it Martin Dabney?
No, Patrick Christie.
Oh, Patrick. That's right, Patrick Christie. Yeah, you
it
just
may
see
be the last time you get on there. Drew Stevens at Advance UK says Essex will be a massive landslide. Where did that come from? Landslide start for Advance UK, as will Claxon with Tony Mack.
After GB News, I was due to appear on Talk TV on Thursday evening and then Friday morning. Thursday evening, just before I was due to go on, I had a message come through from the producer of that show saying, unfortunately, we've had something come in. We're going to have to postpone. I got the same message from the other producer in the morning saying, unfortunately, we've had something come in. And I sent back, I can't help but think this is because I mentioned Advance UK on GB News. And they was like, oh, no, definitely not. Well, it obviously is. Because you hounded me all week for this interview, and now because I mentioned that, you're not having me. It's
all to do with Tommy. It's all to do with Tommy. That's what it's about. Because Tommy very publicly joined and there was the video done, that was it. That was Ben cancelled. But they're gonna regret that, because like Ben said, if he gets a million people joining the party, we're going to win the next election just by activism, by pure sweat on the ground, YouTube videos, Twitter, all the social media. We can still win the next election as it stands. And people think I'm mad saying that, but I'm not mad, because
I actually think we can.
Yeah, because people are going to see that Farage he is all fur coat and no knickers. That's what he is, and he's going to be found out, So,
well, look, he hasn't been to Clacton. He goes there for photo opportunities. Yep. That is his seat. He should be there. He should be seen patrolling the streets. He should be seen in local pubs, talking to local people. You don't just win a seat and then that's it. Oh, off I pop. Exactly. You've got to maintain it, because when it comes around again, then people ain't going to want to vote you in. I'm making it my job to be seen everywhere and talk to everyone and help people, because I genuinely care about this country. I'm not going to give that up. That's it.
Sarah, that's the one thing that everyone involved with reform seems to have in common. They are carers.
Advanced.
Sorry, advanced. I'm reading the chat at the same time, which is a dreadful thing to do. But I might have to find some new guests, because I've got a message here that says Richard for PM, Richard the Lionheart, Richard for PM, and then Sarah for Deputy PM.
Oh,
so where does that leave me then?
Paul, you can make the tea. You can make the tea, Paul. You can make the tea, mate. We'll get you somewhere. Well, I mean, there's that cat as well. You can maybe. What does the cat do in Downey? We'll get you something to do. Yeah, that's it. Watches.
Is that all?
You can be the minister. You could be the minister for timekeeping, Paul. Paul, do you know what you can do?
961. right?
I know we are getting there, guys. Come on,
we
look,
do.
Sarah.
Paul.
Sarah is. Go on, Richard.
No, you can be the man that winds Big Ben up.
Oh, that'd be good. Yeah, I'll sell for that.
Yeah, Big Ben
I'll
or Little
sell
Ben?
for that. Now we have got Sarah to 961 subscribers. Now, if we can get her to 1,000, that would just be simply awesome because she is up and running. So, Sarah, when you've got your 1,000 subs, what do you plan to do? Because I know that I don't want to give too much away, but we've had a couple of conversations about where I think you should take the channel and your potential, and how important I think your voice is. Have you got any idea? Can you give us any clues as to what you may or may not be doing with it?
So what I would like to do is what you, I mean, you're great, Paul, and you've been like my biggest supporter and like guiding me. And I really do appreciate everything that you've done. And
Thank you.
I thank you for that, because it really does mean a lot for someone. You don't really know me, but you obviously believe in me as a person. So I would like to do a regular slot, like you said, like every morning, like a loose women's style.
That'd be amazing.
Adding to that, I'd like to have a phone in. So I'll get it where people can actually phone in and we can put them live and they can ask questions. And then I'd like to do one podcast a week, but that one podcast a week. So the daily stuff would be talking about what's going on in the world, what the Pink Ladies have done, what I've done, what I plan to do, and everything like what you're doing, but you're doing it in the evening. I'd be like more of a daytime thing.
Yeah.
But I'd like to do one podcast a week, but they could be the most obscure people. So I would cover the rich, the famous, the poor, like people on the homeless people, like a veteran that's on the streets, to go and talk to them about their story and follow them around. And then like Lola's family, you know, like when I have helped them, and we're still helping Lola's family, by the way. And he's ready to come on and do a podcast, like do a live.
Yeah, ask them to get in touch again. Yeah, please, thanks.
And it's things like that, and then do a podcast with, say, someone who spent like a lifer basically in prison. So I'll cover every single genre. So because people like crime, people like to know what certain people. Ben said he'll be on it straight away, obviously. So I'd like to obviously interview Ben, and I think people that was involved in Tommy's the Unite the Kingdom rally, I've got a lot of them that have said that they will do podcasts with me as well. So, and young Reggie, I'm doing a podcast with him on Friday. So I think everyone should give him a follow. He is Reggie Boy on. I'm going to get him actually because he's only 15 and he's doing amazing. But it's all of them. It's everyone like that. I think I'd cover a broad spectrum of people that people want to hear about and they want to know about.
Absolutely. I'll tell you a guest that you should definitely have on and get his story.
Yeah.
Richard. And I'm not kidding. Richard has an amazing story. An amazing story.
Don't know if it's amazing, Paul.
No, it's amazing. Believe me, it's amazing.
Oh, I'll definitely be having Richard on. You're already on the list.
Yeah.
There you go.
So this is Reggie. If everyone can give him a follow on X, and he's got his own YouTube channel as well. Right, not left, Reggie. He's 15. He goes out.
Is that the kid from Epic from the Bell?
Yes,
the young
and
lad.
he goes
he's
round.
Brilliant.
He's so good. He goes round and he goes up to all the lefties, and you know they get quite abusive towards him, but he documents all of it, and he's doing amazing. So I'm doing his podcast with him on Friday, so I'm really looking forward to doing that. But yeah, that's what I'd like to do. One podcast a week where it covers anything. And I want Elon Musk. I actually want to do a podcast with Elon.
That would be amazing. That would be amazing.
Sarah,
just check your subs for me, please.
Hang on. Oh my God, it's 1,008.
There we go. We did it. Brilliant.
Super. Paul, get the checkbook out, mate. We got to find out who was the 1,000th sub. That's what we got to find out.
No, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. I mean, look, I've really enjoyed it tonight. It's been great.
Yeah, it's been good. It's been really
been a lovely chat. Sarah, I've got to say, I think you brought something extra special to not only to our team on this channel, but to the movement. I'm sure that, you know, a lot of women out there are particularly grateful because, do you know what? One of the things that I get all the time is people that are lonely, they're on their own, they're frightened, they're confused, they're scared.
Stop talking about me, Paul, for goodness sake.
It's definitely, Richard, you're definitely none of those things, right? But seriously, we do have a lot of viewers and they rely on us. And I tell you what, I think that a daily show that you spoke about there would be amazing, particularly for the girls, particularly for the women. Not leaving the guys out because I love them as well, right? But honestly, I think for the women, it will be amazing and it will grow like you will never believe.
As well, like, because women obviously, so this is obviously you get a very wide, broad audience on your shows in the evenings, but in a daytime thing, like you're saying, there's a lot of women who are isolated and who might not necessarily, they might have children to put to bed, they have to go to bed early, they might not get to see all of this stuff, and mainstream media hides everything because and I have so many people get in touch. You know what this is like, both of you, and I'm not at your level, but I had a woman get in touch with me recently and she said, I don't actually know if you will see this, but I'm taking a punt. And she's a sign language interpreter. And she said that for the left, they sign language, they have everything going on for them. So the information for deaf people for one narrative is provided all the time. She interpreted my podcast with Liam Tufts and it was taken down within 5 minutes. She said the deaf community are silenced in what is really going on in the country. And when she ever goes to interpret for anyone, they ask questions and they'll say, don't answer them questions for them. So what I've arranged now with her, and she said, I'm fed up. I need to speak out. I need to do something. She's now going to come along to our protests, our big protests, and she's going to stand at the side and she's going to do the interpretation for any of the deaf community. So it's these things. You don't realize that so many people are silenced or don't have the information. So I do believe that this has really spurred on a lot of people to come out and talk about what's really going on. And I mean, I think there's 140,000 deaf people in this country, and that's quite a big amount, like big proportion.
A lot of people,
I tell you what,
all information, that's not right, is it?
And they're voters. They're voters as well. They're people that can vote. So for Advance, I mean, that would be, because there's a mate of mine, and he's got his two sons are autistic. One's slightly, more, don't we say more autistic, but whatever. But I mean,
more
and
diverse needs, maybe.
Yeah. And I mean, he's exactly the same. He's saying the autistic community, so many kids are autistic now. It's like unbelievable.
It used to be 1 in 10,000 and it's about 1 in 28 now. Wow. I mean, that's
1 in 28,000 or 1 in 28?
No, there's 1 in 28 children are autistic now. It used to be 1 in 10,000. When you went to school, when I went to school, when did you ever see a child that had autism or ADHD? It was, you never see it. And there would be special needs schools for children, but special needs schools was usually children that had severe complex needs. Now, a lot of these special needs schools are closed down and then they have to be in a mainstream setting. Mainstream settings aren't for everyone. My son hasn't got special needs, but mainstream really doesn't suit him. So he now goes boxing 5 mornings a week. But where is it's only because I'm you know what I'm like, I don't shut up. So I've pushed for that. But a lot of parents haven't got the facilities or the know-how to get their children to have these facilities. So, that's something I would like to bring in the future if I get.
I mean, that's something I think we need to speak to Ben about this, specifically the autism thing, because if it's 1 in 28 kids, that's a massive amount of people. And that
every single class now has a child in it that has neurodiverse. They have needs. They're either autistic, ADHD, and it's not fair that they haven't got the funding. If you've got a child now that's got autism or ADHD, try and get them statemented. Try and get a person to sit with that child, to teach that child. Usually these helpers go into these classes and end up being helpers to the rest of the class. That's not acceptable. If you've fought for your child to have a statement, why should that then be given to everyone else in the class? It's got to stop. It needs to be looked at.
And it's not even that, it's the families, because if they're profoundly autistic, like my mates, well, one of the kids is, like, it is a full-time job just looking after that boy.
Mm.
You know, and he's a lovely kid. He's a really
Yeah.
nice kid, but the attention that he needs, and he can be violent and he can be aggressive, and you know, it's just like, so to me, that's something I think Advance could take up that I don't hear any other political parties talking. If it's 1 in 28 kids, I've got relatives, I'm not going to go into it, but I've got relatives that are autistic. I've got other mates who's got autistic kids. And again, it seems to be, for some reason, more so now. And they are genuinely autistic. It's not like they're just putting a badge on someone that's slightly quiet or whatever. There's real, you know, real issues there.
The spectrum is so vast. And like when you look as well at which Daz, like Lola's dad, will talk about this when he comes on your live call. He basically, Lola has got irreversible brain damage. How can she be compared to a child that has got autism? It's completely different needs. They're totally complex. Lola needs constant care, whereas, say, a child with autism may be able to speak and converse and walk down the street and, you know, haven't got to check to see that this child is choking all the time, where Lola has got more complex needs and you know, so, but the ECHR, I think the policies haven't been changed for something like 30 years. Like we're all right using the ECHR when it comes to illegal, undocumented men coming into this country, their human rights, but we don't care about the human rights of like families with disabled
exactly.
children.
And the other thing is this cousin marriage that's causing massive problems in the Pakistani community predominantly. You know, that's costing the NHS an absolute fortune. If that was banned and it was enforced that you weren't allowed to do cousin marriage, because honestly, I mean, you know, there's so many people in the Pakistani community that are affected by that, and that's a massive burden on the NHS as well. And the NHS says it's fine. The NHS is saying it's fine, it's okay. It's not okay.
Well, they didn't, did they? They first of all, and then they retracted it.
Yeah.
That was like, so was it okay or what? Was it not?
Exactly.
Unbelievable. Sorry, I'm being a bit quiet here, guys. I'm just flicking through the chat, having a look, seeing who's in. We've got some former servicemen in the chat. Thank you for your service, guys. Really appreciate that. Lots of people congratulating Sarah on her 1,000 subs, the first of many thousands, I guess.
I hope so.
Guys, I've had a really good evening. I've had some nice lives this week. I think everyone's enjoyed the phone-ins. We're going to crack on with that. We're going to carry on with that. And
oh my God, I'm on 2,000.
So thank you very much to Sarah for joining us tonight. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Richard. What you got planned, Rich, the rest of the week? Anything good?
Do you know what? I think I'm always trying to get in touch with Brett Murphy. I want to get Brett on again and do something with Brett. Obviously, the big launch of the record, we'll do that, Paul, on Thursday. Is it Thursday? 20th, 24th? Yeah, I think it's Thursday. We'll get that link out and we'll just, I mean, if we could get that up to #1 in the download charts, I mean, imagine that, the Men of England.
Very good, wouldn't it?
I mean, it would just trigger so many people. Like, it would just, you know, if we'd have it at #1 for Remembrance Sunday, I mean, that'd be fantastic. Be a bit of an ask. Or Christmas #1 would be even better.
Did anyone see the song that was made about me?
I did, yeah.
No.
I mean, I love it. Can I just give a quick...
God, they was trolling you, weren't they, Sarah? I think.
They're trolling me, but I think it's great.
That's the way to act. That's the way to do it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What's it called, Sarah?
I don't know. Someone who trolled me called Zombie Pop thinks that I'm offended, but I love it.
That's the way to treat them.
What we need to do, actually, we need to do an album. We need to get
way to town. He's got me like in a blow up cock, and then he's got Adam Brooks, and then he's got me in my underwear.
I think you probably need to get a restraining order on that fella, to be honest with you.
Keep Richard off there, that's for sure. Blimey. Right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. I've really enjoyed it, as always. Wherever you are, take care.
And thank
Paul
you
needs his beauty sleep.
Who followed me and subscribed. Thank you.
We will see you all again soon.